Welcome back to the GG Bet Ice Challenge. My name is Henry G, joined by my counterpart Vendetta. We had one okay map. I'm not going to overcook it. It was all right. It was fine.
The interview, though.
It was a good interview.
Yep.
I didn't actually listen to it, so I hope that interview was good. To be honest, I
Greatest
walked
of
off
all
the
time.
I had to go eat, so I missed the interview. But it looked like he was saying a lot of things. He was quite candid. He wasn't just saying the kind of boxed up answers you'd expect.
Like
so.
once you get him simple in an environment where it's not like just post-game interview kind of a deal, he'll be very candid and very upfront about the situation.
He did. There was one on HLTV recently. I was just asking him, like, what's your favorite anime? Stuff like that. I was just like, what are you into?
You've been getting into that lately.
Yeah, I have been, actually. I've been watching this one called Attack on Titan, which is amazing. I'm not sure if you're a fan.
I've never really watched any of it.
Give it a go. Like, imagine a universe where anything can happen and you're not distracted by CGI, like a Marvel film, for example.
Fair
Actually,
enough.
you can really engross in it and you can start crying and everything. It's
There
great.
you go. Okay,
Yeah.
all the emotions on the spectrum.
Yeah, it's real good stuff. Check it out. I'm sure Devil Walk has. We'll name it Devil Walk out. He's definitely watched an anime in his life. I can tell you that much. As we'll get into the second map, it's going to be the 9th round, and this does not look good for Godsent.
I mean, Godsent might need some Goku level power
Yes,
here.
exactly. That's exactly over 9,000 potentially. We'll see what they can do. So if you're just joining us, we just played Nuke. Didn't really work out too well for Godsent. They were 4-1 up on their CT side. They ended up losing the half, and then there was a 16-6 finish. As it wasn't even simple to ravage them. It was pretty much the entire team. No one really stood out, especially.
Yeah, I think if anything, it would have been potentially Boomich and Perfecto.
Yeah, he had some very good moments.
Yeah, Perfecto as well, showing that he's able to frag out, at least versus this kind of this tier of opponents. And I guess to be fair, with his past in Simon Gaming, that's where it would have been, I guess, his usual opponents as well. That's like the level he's used to play against as well. So it's going to be interesting, obviously, once he plays the Astraluses and Liquids of the world. But for now, off to a solid start, at least, in his Navi career.
Gonna keep Daddy happy here. We're gonna do some sponsor call-outs. This will keep your heart beating. Go to gg.bet, activate code HEART-BEAT, and get plus 200% to your deposit. So that's how it all works. That's how it goes down. Check that out. This is the last map of the day, potentially. We do have a third if required. I say that with bated breath because Godsent, this is a pick of Navi and has a very high fragging affair. Speaking of which, Simple looking for his first towards lower B, and I think he might be in a spot of bother here. Falls back, does get the hell out of there, but still somehow did not take much damage at all.
Like one of those, you can tell he's rearing to really get going here, but he realizes as well, like, this is not going to do me any good if I just keep going.
Yeah, he did well to actually fall back. Perfecto. I like this a lot.
That's such a difficult angle as well.
They made so much noise, he can definitely push this.
Yeah.
Might even want to make it a footstep himself just to stop them getting up towards short. Not quite perfection on the shot. And will be, though, information gathered as they go up towards short. Now they know he's at least behind them. They can't really fall back. Flashing over, Simple. Known for these sort of shots, he normally delivers, and there's Electronic to get a devastating headshot towards short. He will be taken down. It's actually a chance here for Godsent, but it's starting to diminish here somewhat as we get into a 3 versus 1. A plant will be good for Madden at this point, as he doesn't go for it straight away. I think that's his only chance to get the plant, and the round's potentially gone at this stage. That's a nice shot. Might not be done, you know. Like, I actually didn't mind that towards the end. There was an opening.
You could tell that he's got a lot of individual skill. We did get to see it in parts on Nuke as well. He's we're playing pretty proactively on the CT side as well. He would often push in towards lobby, get into the faces of Navi when things were getting a little bit hairy for them. So he's going to be fun to watch as 2020 gets underway. And here we see the odds from gg.bet. It's Navi once again favored, 1.10 odds in favor of them. And Godsent looking a little bit on the rougher side, 6.21. But can't really argue with it either, considering what happened on Godsent's map pick.
Yeah, that's a good point. It was looking so good. The 4-1 up, I was like, there's something to be said here. The setup's looking decent. They're hitting some shots. They've got control of the money. CD's had a nuke. And then that was pretty much the only highlight for them in nuke. Like, after that, unfortunately for them, like I said, they didn't really do anything wrong.
It was like a one round, right? Where, you had the man advantage and you had the fight going back and forth on ramp. That's where it all slipped. Yes,
that was it. When the ramp, when they kind of gave up one more kill than they should have done, that's when it all kind of collapsed. But here comes the force buy in response, though. You can see the scouts out. No bomb planted in the previous. Now, we talked about this and the Galil. So they've opted for Deagles instead of the rifle. It means you get an extra smoke, I suppose.
Yeah.
And made in with the Galil. It's going to be joined by the scouts as well. So I'd prefer Galils across the board, but we'll see what they can do.
I was about to say, unless all these three smokes have a very set purpose, I would much rather have maybe one guy sacrificing himself, getting the utility, and then you could maybe set up for a P-split with a smoke there and just banking on firepower. Because, as you said, yeah, we saw this on Nuke as well. A lot of MP9s in play for Navi. And here you actually get like pretty long angles as well if you want to. but they decide to go on the closest corner of the map, pretty much. Oh, Sticko, how is your foot not spotted? Oh, okay, there we go. It's just a matter of time.
It's not even enough bullets to get this thing shit off here. As we'll see, Simple, Electronic going to town at short. That is pretty fantastic stuff. You can see them just like a deer in the headlights at that point. They knew they were stuck at short. They were smoked out, waiting for that to go down. There was a gap. It's exploited. It's then flashed into. About 400 damage coming through it as Simple and Electronic there. And the pitch of Twickenham behind them. Just getting it done.
Big rugby fan?
I actually saw my first ever rugby game here. It was Northampton versus London Wasps back in 2006 or something. It was at the big final. I was blown away. It was the first big sporting event I ever went to. I was like, when you walk out there and it's full, like it actually is legit.
Because this is like the Wembley for rugby.
Yeah, the home of rugby, I think, in the world. This would be. It's a really wicked stadium.
For those who haven't watched rugby is pretty badass to watch as well.
Oof. This round, maybe not so much, considering it's just the blocks and... There's a kill. There's the MP9 trying to farm some cash towards lower. And for now, they've got 3 players locked in B tunnels. Simple, ready and waiting for them. And we have got Perfecto on the B side. Seems to be playing in all these anchor positions. He'll be on the back right now, looking for anyone walking with FAMAS.
Simple just...
This is what we talk about no respect. It's like no one else would just run up there and see, right.
Yeah. I love the fact that Boomich was in there. He was just playing a calm angle, just waiting for somebody to run into him. And then 10 seconds passed, Simple just up the stairs looking for kills.
He's just like, I guess, if he is the AWP now, worst case scenario is he'll go down by an AWP next round. Best case, he'll get 3 kills, then have 7.5 grand going forward.
Exactly. He needs the money. Right now, he has got an excuse to actually go on these sounds.
And now you get one of these like weird bonus rounds where you've done such a good job, you need to work out, do we throw away that MP9? I think they did at the very last second there, which makes sense on Dust too. Like on the T side especially, it's one of the few maps I would say that really is momentum based on the T side right now. If you get going with the spawns, you shut down the CT money, they don't have a double AWP set up, that's when you can really get stuck in. So I don't mind the MP9 upgrade considering how much money he just farmed, and Perfecto hit on the cross. It is a mechanic that is a big talking point in CS right now with
Chad
changes.
Loves it.
With the changes to Dust 2 that were announced this week, like a lot of people are saying, like, are we going to get any sort of changes to mid doors? Like, it's iconic at this point, and I do kind of like it from a spectator point of view. It makes the game exciting, but it can be like so disappointing for a B player, which is already hard enough. You've got to expel a smoke before you even get across to the bomb site at times, and that's not bad. Maiden actually helps himself to a kill in middle, finding a bit of confidence to walk out the double doors. That's a 5-on-4 now. They've already tagged Perfecto down to 30 points of health, so surely this is where they can really cause some damage. This is a great call as well, just capitalizing upon their advantage, but they haven't accounted for this map.
Flashes?
Simple.
Anyone? Okay.
Headshots will do.
Madden showing that he's definitely not shook from the performance on Nuke. Starting off strong. That's also interesting to see is what players actually opt in for the AK over the Krieg in certain situations. In that round, he did have enough money to potentially pick it up, but 2 kills with pretty decent precision is going to showcase why he doesn't necessarily have to use that weapon. But yeah, speaking of the swim changes, obviously we're playing on a rollback version right now. This is not the one with
let's get into that.
What do you think about it? I'm just going to make a very wild assumption and saying that because you have a background in Swords, as I do, you're not against necessarily opening up the skyboxes.
I wasn't like, I understand people's problems with it, but like at least it's changed, you know. Like I really don't mind changes in the map. Like for better or for worse, changes in general, I think in maps, as long as it doesn't break the map, I think are fine because we've had this version of Dust 2 now for well over a year. Like nothing really has changed from the previous version. This is more of an aesthetical change.
Yeah.
And now like that's a real meta change. The fact we've opened up the B tunnels completely, you can smoke them. Sure, it's going to be difficult to maintain first, but there will be rebuttals to that. You'll be able to smoke back from the B side of the things as well, right? You'll be able to use incendiaries on the CT side and work it out. It looks a bit scary, and we fear change in CSGO. I appreciate that. Let's just see how it goes. Like I'm sure it's going to be interesting to see who develops it first and exploits it. It looks really OP, but then that's what Counter-Strike's all about, is adapting and going forward. As you'll see, a lovely shot there from Zen. They're coming to life here in the last couple of rounds.
Yeah, nice little tower, moving tower to actually get into an angle to find Simple. That's an opening they needed for sure. Electronic trying to get aggressive, and that flash, well, doesn't quite do him in, and actually finds the second one as well. I kind of figured he would have been dead right after he picked up Crystal, but sets them back on the right path. Meanwhile, Sticko's been able to work up his courage to move up on long, and that's going to net him 2 kills. Boomich and Electronic taken out for the time being, and right now it's just falling apart for Na'Vi. Very well done there from GODSENT, realizing where they actually have created space for each other.
That they've been good at that. Their mid-round calls, I've been impressed with. The one in the previous, when they actually had a nice advantage, they saw some control towards short, they're all segregated, they're long, flashing over to getting up, power and numbers, making sure you couldn't get multiple frags. Excuse me. Had to cough there for a second, but I'm back. And now Perfecto, not really much you can do about this one. The money should be absolutely broken after those 2 convincing rounds. GODSENT in the driving seat going forward. Perfecto looking to hold on to the M4 if possible. He'll save an HE and a diffuse kit. M4, not too much to write home about. If he had the AWP, that'd be fantastic. But there it is.
Yeah.
Nothing too flashy, but GODSENT getting it done.
Solidly played again. Nice little maneuver to find the opening on Simple to start everything off. And again, realizing that the doubling up from Na'Vi on Catwalk to maintain control there allows Stiko to have some room to maneuver out on long.
Well, this is a bit of a sticky situation now. Na'Vi with the saved M4, they have a buy next round. They're one of those situations that like a P250, no armor, is about the very top end of what you can afford.
Yeah.
But they know that GODSENT, they're not exactly flush for cash right now. They're doing okay, but there would be a good chance to steal this round away if they really, really wanted to. So we'll take a pause right now and discuss their options. I would say, like, you've already got a map under your belt. You've already got this M4. Cause some damage this round with the P250s and the M4, but don't fully invest. Like, you're the better team. You don't need to be taking these taking these risks.
Yeah.
Got 2 things going on my head at this point, it seems.
Yeah, no, that's fair. It would be a risk.
Yeah.
For sure, and they needed a good reason to kind of jump on this. I guess Electronic and Flamey, depending on whether or not they want to drop an AWP for Simple, that kind of a thing, they could invest into a Deagle. Might do something off of that, but for right now, we are looking at what should be, almost regardless of what Na'Vi decide to invest into it, should be a GODSENT round.
Yeah, because they get 2,400 on top of what they have right now. So even a P250 would be risky. For like someone like Boomer to 2,100, like even 300 off that total, like you're taking a risk there. Yeah. So this is either all in or just take the M4 with a couple of P250s. That's about it. So what's the call? Is there anything purchased at all? Not so far yet. We'll see whether this is going to evolve. Is it going to change?
Doesn't seem like it. Might actually also be, again, more on the other GODSENT side, deciding to how they want to play this out. They might be expecting a purchase from Na'Vi's end. I just want to make sure they don't mess this up. And again, Michael has been pretty, I guess, consistent with this so far. He doesn't actually go for the gap shots. He just sets himself up in a position where he knows he can get the tag through the door from an angle, which is pretty nifty actually. If you can, well, it's hard to say that you can guarantee obviously damage, but you have a big likelihood of actually being able to hit it.
Yeah,
you'll always take that.
It's meaning they're going to guarantee to use a smoke every round. Yeah. They're going to be a little bit more tentative crossing over. They might be more inclined to lean more players on that side of the map because it's getting a bit uncomfortable. But this round, anything but for GODSENT. Very clean.
Na'Vi did actually end up spending a little bit of cash at the very, very tail end of it.
Some smokes, was it?
Yeah, and Simple, for some reason, decided to buy up with Kevlar. So he spent $1,000 on that.
With a helmet as well?
Yeah. Which definitely weirded me out. But
why would you get a helmet?
I couldn't answer that.
When you're the AWPer as well. Like, Kevlar I can accept. Like, maybe you think your teammate's going to go down, you're going to put that M4. The helmet when you're against AKs, like,
it doesn't really do a whole lot.
You need that, and you need the money going forward. Like, you really need the cash. I guess he's relying on his teammates, whichever poor soul, probably Perfecto, like, hey, man, that money's looking pretty nice over there. Like,
could I borrow a couple of bucks?
Yeah, could we swap maybe? You weren't going to need grenades, but I will have the AWP, so there is that. Did he survive at least?
I'm pretty sure he survived, but then before that, Perfecto dropped over to him once Perfecto got tagged by Michael.
Okay, so it's not always lost.
No. But again, it does prevent him from potentially getting an AWP or potentially getting a weapon, I guess, in the hands of one of his teammates that would have dropped them an AWP as easily. But I don't know. If you're Na'Vi, you kind of let Simple do as you pleases.
I think that's absolutely true. Over the last couple of years in Na'Vi, I don't think that was always the case. There was a whole meme, if you will, or at least a conversation about when Zeus and Edward would have money to drop weapons, they'd buy the AKs up for themselves. You have Deagles on Simple and Flame.
Yeah, Zeus actually had an AMA.
Was that
I want to say 1 or 2 days ago?
Yeah, I saw that. I didn't get into it.
And somebody asked him that question. So what was the deal with that exact scenario? Edward, you would have cash. You guys go with the AK. Simple's on a Deagle. Why was it?
Sure.
And he actually said, like, well, sometimes Simple just wanted to play with a Deagle.
Yeah.
I guess
just selfless. This type boys, I can make this work.
Yeah, again, like, you have the world's best player on a Deagle. Simple could very easily get 3 kills and win the round for you, maybe Edward and Zeus wouldn't be capable of doing that, so you give them an AK so they stand a better chance of contributing.
I understand that rationale. It's just like, yes, he can definitely be capable of causing damage to the Deagle, but imagine what he can do with the AK.
Yeah, obviously.
Like, that's always been the thing for me. But it makes sense. Like, obviously, these things are a bit of an echo chamber in general. One person has his idea, and we see it happen a few times. Everyone thinks that's what happens every time. But still, like, it's interesting he even answered. I respect that. So, this is a clean round for GODSENT. Yeah. Not looking like there'll be much to talk about going forward. They did not invest much more than the Deagles and PT50s once again, so GODSENT actually going to take a lead here in the second map. Nuke did not go in their favor, 16-6 against them. First showing from both of these teams, really. Na'Vi with the new 5th Perfecto, GODSENT, new org, new lineup, really.
Ooh. Lily is actually able to get the trade on it, and the weapon's not picked up either. So only one M4 carried over here from Na'Vi as of right now. We'll see if actually Madden is able to find one of the retreating Na'Vi players, but this could actually get a little bit hairy for Na'Vi considering they're playing CT side. Just having money troubles throughout the half. Obviously they're going to have a pretty solid buy coming into the 8th round, but could just as easily disappear as well. It takes quite a bit of a while to actually build up a solid economy, especially when you're playing double ops.
Yes.
That's not actually something I saw coming. I figured this would just be you let Simple roam around, do as he wants, but...
Flamey and Simple. There has been the double orb set up at times in Na'Vi.
Yeah, in the past, yeah, for sure.
So it's tried and tested, it works.
Flamey definitely much more of an angle grinder than Simple is.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a good way of putting it. Like, he doesn't... that's what you want, though. In a double orb setup, you want that dynamic. You want the crazy loose player, and you want someone who plays like a turret, who can just get the job done and hit the shots required. Flamey definitely falls into that role. And
I like this.
This is good for a player I don't know much about. Like, he's showing a lot of confidence. This is like... The world-class players do this, have the confidence to walk out middle and take those duels. Like, the rookies normally will be playing the more supportive role, the one throwing the flashbangs. That's cool to see. Stepping up and doing that. I'm
going to make a bit of a wild call, and I think by 2020, Maiden's gonna be in one of the highest regarded riflers.
Okay.
In the world.
All right. Do you want to put a pie on it, or? We haven't had one of those for a while.
Ooh, maybe a bit early to start the first tournament of the year.
All right. Well, how about this? Why don't you say he'll be? Do you reckon he'll be in the top 20? This year.
I think that's going to be hard if he stays with GODSENT.
They won't even go. Yeah, you're right. That's stupid because they won't even go to many tournaments to even get there.
I think he's going to be the kind of player who does end up in one of these international lineups that actually is pretty enticing to watch.
I don't think that's crazy. He's looked very confident and capable so far, and that's the biggest curse with these sort of teams. Like, sure, you might have some okay results as GODSENT, and you might go to some tournaments, but as soon as the offers come in for someone like Maiden, like, unless your contracts are watertight, you're going to have some trouble holding on to him. Like, the offer's going to be, like, it would be bad business sense sometimes not even to give him up. The money that would be available, you'd be like, we have to give him up. This is what we can do. Either way, his Flamey, we said he was more of an angle grinder. He gets himself painted into a corner, though, however, and it's actually falling apart. This B-split is looking very good. You don't like to be an AWP right in there, tucked towards the corner. Gets one, but he was always going to go down after that.
When the camera swapped over to that position, I was like, okay, this is Simple playing close up towards exit.
Not
I was
really
like, Flamey. I'm like,
not what we anticipated at all. Good for one, but the B-split was perfect. We've seen a lot of really strong B splits in today's game, especially just because no one wants to play middle anymore. Everyone's always in B because of the B split base. You want to be able to back them up to stop the rush, essentially, and at that point you're locked in the site, and then you need to 3 it down long at the start of the round to stop the long rushes, but they're not consistent either. That's all spawn based, and that's really why Dust 2 is not a favorite map by pros at this point. Like, it's got too many variables that are not controllable by yourself. If you look back to 1.6 and Source, at least the spawns were predictable and they came in sets of 4, right? You knew, okay, we can work out he's got the long spawn this round, we can at least adjust for that. This, in CSGO, for lack of a better word, is random each spawn you get. And right where they're spawned right now, in that position, that's all just not even pre-calculated. You drop in randomly. Would you say that the old system, although it was, you could predict what was going to happen, that had more depth to it, because as an in-game leader, something else to track, and you had to kind of adapt your game, and you had consistencies instead of random gameplay in any esport, any competitive situation. You shouldn't have RNG involved at all, in my opinion.
Again, it comes into the fact that the in-game leader has that added responsibility of, as you said, tracking what kind of spawns the opponent has, and then being able to utilize it. Because,
and then
again, the opponent's going to pick it up as well.
With that as well, right? Like, because they know we've got a long spawn this time. Let's not even use it. When they're going to
let's fake it, right?
Long. Yeah, I think that's such a great part of the game that is forgotten about. I don't think Valve even realized that was the system before they changed it. Like, that was such a big part of our game when we were doing prac and stuff. Like,
absolutely.
First 4 rounds, like, I'm writing down what they did and what spawns they've got, because Source especially, like bunny hops and spawns are a big part of it. So I was always working it out. And now in CSGO, like, random anything is never good. Like, at least, like, you can make them random, but make them consistent over a certain amount of time. Either way, double orb setup here for Na'Vi. It's starting to fall apart a bit for them. 5-3 down here. Still very early days on Dust 2.
They're very much all in on every buy they get. At least this time it's going to work out for them initially. Michael has taken out a bit of breathing room on the side of Na'Vi. Again, though, as you said, nobody really likes to be in mid if you're on the CT side, so...
Yeah, it's a real problem. This is like one of the least favorable angles for a CT. And like the entire game, looking for those mid doors up towards short. Unless you've got a smoke down and someone to back you up, it's really difficult to make it work. Great shot from Maiden. Starting to see what you're talking about now, those rifle skills. That is pretty special. Does he give it up though? Switches to the AWP and actually baits out a shot as well. This is looking really good for him. Sticko coming with a big backstab as well. 2 versus 4 at this point. Flamey's done for surely, as he will be removed. This is looking very good now. GODSENT have something to say on Dust 2 here. Boomage left in a 4 versus 1. But no chance to win it. He picks up a Krieg. He's got no kit, no helmet, no grenades. Just has to fall back. And that's going to be 6 in a row for GODSENT.
They're really getting into the swing of things here. And they're doing it with, I guess, a pretty consistent recipe as well of approach. We're going to see if Na'Vi decide to potentially put simple towards mid, be a bit more proactive.
They're going to have to change things, aren't they? Like, you can't just keep getting B split on every time and you're all getting overwhelmed at the back. It's just not going to be sustainable.
This is also one of the instances where I think the changes to Dust 2 as well, because you're pretty much the way the current version of Dust 2 works is if you lose the B bomb site, and even if you're in 4v4 or 3v3 or something, you kind of just think to yourself as a CT, well, we're not going to have a shot at retaking this.
Sure.
So you just fall back, you save whatever you can, and it becomes a bit of a dull affair more often than not, and it just gradually slips out of your control as a CT side. But again, with opening up the B side or B tunnel skyboxes, I actually do think you have a pretty good shot of setting up retakes in a much bigger fashion.
Here are the odds brought to you by GG.bet. You can see Na'Vi's still the favorites, but maybe not for long. It's GODSENT that are really coming online here on Dust 2, actually looking again like a well-formed team, but this time with a bit of firepower to boot as well. Boomage, though, he'll shut down Sticko. He's having a rough game. I think it's 5th death right now, and he only got 1 kill to his name. Boomage doesn't need to challenge this again. What a strong flashbang that is. Teamwork prevails once again. Maiden to lead the charge. He'll bring it back to a 4-on-4, and they've got no real utility left on the CT side. 1 smoke. That's about it. Zen, once again, mid-control is theirs. Very strong position to hold off those rotations from B. And indeed CT spawn, vice versa. We'll see now if Maiden can continue finding the headshots here. He's very confident.
Absolutely is. And Zen is going to hear the players from B trying to rotate in towards middle. There's not a whole lot Simple can do with this scenario. Gets burnt up as well. Actually trapped between 2 Molotovs. And yeah, he has nowhere to go. Maiden's going to get his 2nd frag of the round. And yeah, seeming very confident on Dust 2 so far.
I like it. It's looking good. Like, this is a team that you can actually get excited about. We're talking about competitive games. They've got Na'Vi on the ropes at this point.
Double up on T side?
Don't mind it.
Yeah?
Why not? Sticko's having a rough one. He's 1-5 right now. It's just like, you know what? Let me change things up here. I'll just go hold long.
It's like one of those cases where you constantly do like 52 and 2 to like everyone you see. So like, I'm getting a shot off and I'm hitting him. So if I just have a better weapon.
I guess it's like your plan B game. The rifles just aren't working out for you. Like Dust 2, if there's ever a map to have 2 AWPs on the T side, like this would probably be it.
Yeah, give it a go.
But it's a strange one considering they have a 7-3 lead, but it's still, anything can work in CS. Like, just because it's not the usual doesn't mean it's wrong.
Yeah, and I guess for GODSENT, they're looking at, well, this is still working without Sticko necessarily being a too massive part of it, so now it can work better.
Yeah.
And Na'Vi do make that adaptation that we talked about. They do put Simple over towards the B site. Started off poking around in middle. Now he's going to be the sole defender on B. GODSENT on there, and though looking to take cat control initially, and this, yeah, you can tell. Na'Vi now focusing with 2 players pretty much the entire time towards mid. Actually going to boost up here. All right, not going to spot anything just yet. All of the GODSENT players have moved past. Nade's going to miss from Electronic as well, so no damage done either.
So decent map control gathered. No casualties received, and GODSENT looking to execute once again here. You can see them setting themselves up now. He can double pump this if you want to, meaning that you drop the smokes initially to bait out utility. When it looks like a convincing moment, about 35 seconds will be doing just that, and they've got residual utility as well, so this could be exactly that. So another smoke could come through after baiting out those grenades. You can even go back into a mid split if you wanted to here.
I was about to say, are they going to fake this, have one player drop into spawn or something to that effect? Because they do have maybe, okay, well, maybe not. Maybe they're just going to commit off of this. Lineup.
Ooh, nice shot from Sticko.
Really big one as well, but Zen's not able to follow up on it, but
yeah,
the round at least finds one. Yeah, not enough time left, and Perfecto decides to drop down. That's going to be at least one more kill on the books for GODSENT, but round's still going to go the way of Na'Vi, but that's a pretty costly affair, especially when you're going with double ops.
Double orbs, it's come down to the 1 versus 1, and it looked like a comfortable round towards the end there as well. Maiden just should have been left alone and just done for, but obviously his position yielded another frag at that point. Yeah. He actually didn't do anything wrong, though. We saw plenty of players doing that earlier. I think it was Rops who was doing that for Mouse Sports. It's coming through B once they'd actually fully committed towards A. Yeah. If you get the timings right and things go in your favor, it could be the move that wins the game. Unfortunately, it can also look like you've baited the squad and nothing's come of it, just because the way the game plays out sometimes. You know, like they could have been better off with you this there, or you could win on the round. It really is a bit of a gamble. It worked out for Rops like twice and backfired once. Unfortunately, backfires there.
Yeah, and even if it doesn't end up in a round win for GODSENT, they do
damage.
Exactly, they do a ton of it.
Yeah, that's a good point. You can see that's the knock-on effect right now.
2 MP9s.
2 MP9s for Masses, a couple of rifles. They lose this round. They might not get another one here in the first half.
So playing up close here on the B-bomb site for the time being. Some utility being lumped in towards the exit area. Bombs dropped outside of B tunnels as well. All right, now GODSENT just poking their way ahead. Very aware of the situation they find themselves in, not wanting to throw this one away. Things kind of slipped out of their hands on Nuke after a solid start. It was 4-1, as you mentioned.
Yeah, well, this is another solid position, this time recovering from a deficit. They were 3-0 down. Finding themselves 7-4 up, but it could all still fall apart and go 8-7 against them. So no celebratory songs until this is all said and done. Towards B they go. It doesn't look to be a split either. Just one player towards middle, and that's going to be Crystal.
2 MP9s.
You like to see this, actually. The AWP there, getting stuck in, get the pistols through as well. It's the ultimate bait and switch there. Yeah. It couldn't have gone any better for them. And Flamey finishes things off with a quick scope as well. They didn't even receive a single casualty.
That is pretty wild. I'm not sure who number 2 was on the side of GODSENT going in through exit there, but they had a solid 5 seconds of just spraying at Zen here. Oof. I feel like you should be able to down Perfecto in that time.
But still, I love the setup. I haven't seen that with MP9s before, but it makes sense, right? You're all just trying to take that one player down who's still 1 kill away. So you're all just swinging on that. There's no time to calm. He might be to the left. Like no one's considering that.
No.
And the fact they've got a clean sweep there and the final kill with an AWP, pretty beautiful. That might be them coming right back into this now. They can still win the half at this stage. 7-5. Tactical timeout just for everyone to catch their breath. Like that will happen sometimes against Na'Vi, you know.
Yeah. This could be like Na'Vi taking the time and just let the GODSENT stew in it.
Yeah, I don't mind that at all. I don't think enough teams do that after big clutches and stuff. Like, not only has your player got adrenaline pumping through his blood, you want to let them stew over and get some arguing going as well. Like, you definitely, I think there's something. Like, Carrigan used to mess with that sometimes. I think it was against Fnatic, the most one.
Notorious one, yeah.
That was it. So I think it should be done a bit more. We're all too nice to each other still.
Need some more tenacity and ruthlessness.
Yeah, I think so.
Double ops yet again for GODSENT. Again, their money is looking pretty damn good. Overall.
Ooh. Shot again.
Again, yeah. He's on 19 kills, 19 and 6.
Yeah, against Simple and Electronic as well. Like, these are not easy kills to pick up.
Again, mid.
That's really, really well played. Like, they're doing all the right moves at this point. As they wait for the reaction play, Boomich has to go long. They've lost everywhere else, and GODSENT
right back at it.
Absolutely. Like, this round is about as textbook as it gets. You've got a decent spawn. It will be Maiden is flying up towards short. The flashbang deployed from his teammates as well. The AWP is flashed. He nails the shot, runs through the flames, continues to apply the pressure. When this is all going on, the CTs have to rotate, they have to transition, they have to react. And we've got Zen there already through the mid doors. They've confirmed that's going to be accessible for them. He gets a rotating frag. Boomage, he has to push long at that point. He's taken down.
Oh,
it's a very good round.
Absolutely. And GODSENT are not completely content with what they're seeing right now. They've already spotted out Perfecto. They know that Flamey rotated over towards that side of the map as well, and it's a clean sweep. So anything Na'Vi can do, GODSENT can do better, apparently. Taking even less damage than what Na'Vi did in that previous round. And I guess this is where it becomes a bit of a light at the end of the tunnel, the fact that Na'Vi did have that flawless round.
That's it,
just before.
It was an eco. Well,
it's like a weird...
It wasn't eco. It was that they won the previous round, then they had one player survive.
Yeah.
So they had MP9s and FAMAS, right? So, yeah, they bought exactly what they could down to 0, but they have somehow got a clean sweep out of it. So they do have something to fight with here. That's right.
Yeah, that's going to leave Simple with an AWP. Not a whole lot of utility. And GODSENT going on contact. They have no idea the boom just crossed, and they're just going to get the perfect lineup. Well then.
I haven't seen it before. You just don't check pit or the side at all, I'll be honest with you. Like, that's the first real mistake they've made.
Yeah.
And it will be costing them 3 lives.
That has to be like a case of Stico getting a decent long spawn, not the best long spawn, and Boomage having the absolute best CT spawn.
That's the only time it can fall apart. Like, the CT has to have the best possible spawn, and they have the long spawn, it's not the best one.
Yeah.
And you could say, like, you don't even hit the
cross.
Yeah, they can actually get across. So that's why I'm always so scared. Even when we get out, I always check it. I just have a look myself, just make sure, 100%. Because I don't want everyone's
no
gonna be
surprises.
Mad. If we get a big 3-man spray down the back, we're all going to be mad. So just have one look. But yeah, that Boomage looked like he was done for. He's like, yeah, you're going to get one here maybe. If they check you, you're done for. But the fact that he all just lined up for him, he couldn't believe his luck. As we'll see it now. 5 or 4 on 2. 40 seconds remaining. And nice shot from
scope.
Yeah, no idea that was coming. And it's going to be a pretty clean round from Na'Vi. And it's starting to look a little bit desperate for them. That's going to be Boomage saving the day. 3-man spray down towards long. They recovered the double AWP setup. Have a look at the replay. They can see it. So, yeah, they assumed that long was clear. It's not that they made a mistake and forgot about it. They just had a good spawn. They just logically dictate this position's clear, but it wasn't.
And I guess to their defense as well, it is the first time we've seen Boomage in that particular position as well. It's a bit of a tough one. It's one of those situations where they do look a bit like a fool when it doesn't pan out. But this time, at least.
Yielding along, just sometimes you have to. Even if you have 3 CTs there, the flashes are too good and overwhelming. You're better off just giving it to them and just focusing your efforts towards short. Like, instead of expelling all your grenades and then having a really scrappy fight, just let them have it. Just fall back to more defensive positions, especially when you have double AWPs as well. Apparently that doesn't matter because Maiden's actually absolutely unreal. It's going to be now Electronic, another world-class rifler here. Taking so much damage though. Crystal preempts his movements, and now down to Boomage. He had a massive round before, and just using this sliver of a gap there, Michael Lady does find him, and it's a 3 versus 1 for Stico. He's got Flamey's number. Should be a foregone conclusion. Frag doesn't really even hit him. Okay. Final round of the first half here. No saving at this point. Flamey will be flashing around the corner. They've got an AWP set up. The plant is for platforms. It's not a pit plant, but it's usable towards long. And we'll see whether this is going to be where Flamey can do something absolutely ridiculous. Trying to find that first kill. The player towards the ramp doesn't want to peek until he actually gets on the bomb. He just wants to delay things as long as possible and yield that long pick. It actually is a more of a long plant. It actually is right on the corner there, so you can sit in the pit. So there shouldn't be any way they give this round up.
This is great play from GODSENT.
Yeah.
Especially, you mentioned it, right? They know that Flamey has a Krieg. He's coming up on short. There's no reason for Crystal to take that peek.
Absolutely no reason at all. Just run the clock down here. If he commits to the round, you've got the AWP covering you anyway.
Yeah.
So they've had a great half there. Like, sure,
absolutely.
There's some rounds that fell apart and you'll be gutted, like that one towards B, for example, the MP9s, the 3-man spray down from Boomage, but you were the better team there. Like, objectively, GODSENT played a better half of CS, that half. Like, they looked much better. And this is the pick of Na'Vi, just to note that. So this is a bit of a wild card from GODSENT. Impressive bounce back after conceding 16-6 on their first map, Nuke, which is their pick. Lose the pistol, though, and we are going 9-9, potentially. Ooh. Okay, here are the odds, though. Na'Vi, they might have changed after that headshot. Are slightly in the lead still, 1.69 to the name, brought to you by GG.bets. It's Boomage, sorry, gets taken down. It's almost nothing at the very start. You got good glasses on. Is that 15, 16?
Yeah, it's 15.
15. Right at the start. You never really like to see that at the start of the round, really kind of takes the wind out of your sails.
Yeah, you feel so useless.
It's like, oh, Glock.
I guess I'm not
No
doing
health.
much.
No nades. I'll just sit here, see what you guys can do.
You guys bait for me?
Oh, that's...
2 players setting an anti-flash.
Oh, she works out as well.
Yeah, triple setup on catwalk. That's definitely not what Na'Vi had in mind. And Flame's going to find 1 retort at least. Might be able to double up. Does so as well.
Okay. Not hating that.
It was absolutely not bad at all from Na'Vi. One issue, I guess, is Boomich is still alive with 15 HP. They are weakened. Okay, bit of an accidental headshots. We take those.
So at least I know B should be clear now. There's 2 kills towards A in the presence they had with a player rotating out as well. You can confirm the site should be relatively open here. You won't be just running around, but you can see they've got 1 player in position who's trying to keep quiet. They still have 40 seconds, so they're going to see if Simple can rotate through. And in terms of the bomb's position right now...
Boomich left it before it went in. He wanted to make sure that there wasn't anyone lurking about.
Good point. Good spot.
Well, GODSENT are going to play this as safely as possible. They have 1 smoke.
With the doors the way they are, and this version of Dust 2, another big talking point, you can't watch the tunnels and walking in, but you can see that cross.
Yeah.
That confirms he's in towards the side now, so at this point, just get the planted. Oh, double plant.
Oh, that was actually open. Simple's down to 33.
They just want to get the plant down to this point and see... Okay. Maybe he wants a bit more. It was not a bad effort at all. The burst fire coming from Boomich there. Not known to find many kills, but it certainly does at the right range. Decent effort there, but the bomb planted. It will be diffused, of course, but that does sow the seeds of doubt now. Will there be Galils or Kriegs coming into the next round? Almost certainly. But what kind of complexion you be going up against? The 5 Galils or the 3 Kriegs? There are options here, and we'll see what they opt for. I would say a team like Na'Vi are almost certainly going to buy this one. But you never know.
Yeah, they used to do this before the weapons were cheaper.
You're right. They were like one of the first teams to start doing this.
Exactly.
Like the Hero AK was like their thing.
And well, I guess 2020, new year, new. No, never mind. Well, there's a scout at least. So not the full investment.
I guess like it kind of makes sense because like if he gets 2 tags and the Deagles actually find a couple of kills, that could be enough. But I don't know. As the AWPer, this is one of the reasons why he can't be the AWPer because he'll never have money for the weapon itself. He always loves to get a cheeky Kevlar, a scout here or there. Boomich likes to get headshots apparently, but he always spends a little bit more than his teammates. As we'll see, Bristol now shutting it down. No way you can keep pushing that.
That's the door stop right there, but there's the tag you were looking for.
It's more than that. It's going to be a beautiful shot from Simple. This is why he does these things, why he gets the upgraded weapons. And he doesn't want to be useless. He doesn't want to have a Glock. He doesn't want to enter a round of no chance of a kill. So he'll bring the scout out and show you what he's capable of.
Do you think the partial investment is like the Blade influence to Na'Vi, potentially?
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah. Like he's just slowly losing his mind by seeing 4 spies.
Everyone's buy again. To be fair, I find myself, like, even when we play the game now, like, it does feel like when you play CS, like, every round is viable for a purchase in some way. You can convince yourself to buy pretty much every round. But Boomich, my goodness, that's his 2nd headshot into this round itself. They've got a 4-2 lead. I would say this round can still fall apart. It all comes down to this frag, especially. Zen showing aggression towards middle. Has he got a helmet? He does. He's okay. Trying to fend off the T's here, but they've made great progress, and he doesn't find these quick kills he's looking for. His teammate Crystal looking sharp today. Stuck towards long. Zen with the first frag of this exchange. 3 versus...
Oh, this is not going to end well, is it?
Ooh. Fullback, long player.
Meanwhile, though, Zen has gone down. Seems like Boomich wants more. Oh, now you're screwed.
Gets 3 Deagle headshots there with 10 seconds on the clock. I thought there was a chance that she gave that one up. The player on short goes down. CT hides. Could be done for, but way too much chaos going on. Boomich just absolutely body bagging everyone. And there it is, the scout shot coming through towards Makaleli as well. I guess that's another aspect of it. You just don't expect it when you hear the Deagles going off. You're thinking, right, just pistols here, give myself a couple of nice kills. Oh, wait, he's got the scout. He's taking me down. It's all over. And we'll get ourselves into the next round here, number 18, 10-7. And it's going to be the 4 spy for the CTs here. This is such a massive round in this series. I can't stress enough. If they don't win this one, it's full eco coming up next. It's when Na'Vi will close the gap. It's where they'll feel comfortable. If you can somehow win this one, though, you'll take the wind out of their sails. They won't be ads up for it, and you'll be back online. We'll see what can be done.
Yeah. GODSENT right now playing with only 1 player over towards the B-bomb site. And I say towards the B-bomb site because Sen has decided to duck over towards the mid. Seems like they're expecting some mid aggression from Na'Vi. Heard the early pop flash that didn't really lead to anything, so... Stacking up here, and there's the 2nd attempt. We'll see if GODSENT is going to find a timing where they can dive on any of these Na'Vi players. But it's going to be simple to find Stiko aggressing on catwalk, and Michaelilla sees his time to go in as the smoke falls down, but it's only going to be one frag for the GODSENT squad, and should be a pretty easy cleanup.
This dude, like,
he's wild.
When you were talking earlier, I was like, all right, mate.
Yeah, it's a bit of a...
Let's reel it in. But, like, I'm on board now.
He is wild, and he's been doing this. He pretty much got picked up. I think the reason he got picked up into this GODSENT squad was because they played versus Blue Jays in an online qualifier, and he dropped like 40 on them in a map, and they were like,
we need some of that.
We kind of need that, yeah.
That's not bad. All right, well, yeah, dude, I'm loving this about CS right now. Like, whenever I do, like, smaller tournaments or tournaments where teams that I'm not necessarily too familiar with. And just like Counter-Strike is crazy right now. Like the skill level across the board, like in the top 30, even the top 50, like some of the players you don't know about necessarily. You watch them play it, it's like, how is he not signed up in like a top 10 team? And it was like, well, they paid his buyout at like $1 million because they know how good he is. And you're like, oh, that makes sense. They saw it early, did they?
Yeah.
Okay. They're smart people.
It's definitely fun. I think we're going to see a lot of new faces pop up. If not 2020, but at least towards the end of it, you're going to get a lot of new names that you're going to need to keep eyes on. Obviously, the Danes are always cooking up something in terms of new talent.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I guess we haven't had the next Danish Dynamite be released.
Yeah, so you know it's around the corner.
It should be coming soon, yeah.
Na'Vi not necessarily looking too cheery, even though they are getting back into the swing of things here. 10-8.
Yeah, I don't think they'll be necessarily happy unless they're absolutely destroying their opposition. Like, this is the matchup they know they need to be winning, right?
Yeah.
Just on paper, no disrespect to GODSENT or anything like that, just on paper, Na'Vi should be winning this. So if they're not convincingly doing so, they're not going to be too happy. But either way, GODSENT have put up a really strong Dust2 so far. Like, Maiden especially, what a player he is. Simple with 11 kills to his name, maybe 23 or something. Well, won't find any more this round, unfortunately.
Starting to rack it up. It's building into it, and that was the one rifle that GODSENT had at their disposal as well. We'll see if Michaelilla is going to be in a position where he can potentially pick it up. As Na'Vi sends the majority of their team towards long here, and B-stack from GODSENT doesn't look like it's going to be doing a whole lot in this round. Michaelilla is going to be pressed to win out the duel. Does significant damage onto Electronic, but the site is in Na'Vi's control, and they're going to get to 9. They
will get to 9, that's for sure. There's no real two ways about it at this point.
I guess for Crystal, wants to hold on to the Light Kevlar.
And the MP9, yeah.
Yeah.
And Flashbang, like I said, you still get money on the CT side for
surviving.
Any Counter-Strike newbies out there. It's only the T side. If you survive past the time, you get no cash. CT side, you can survive after the explosion, no problem. And you get $600 bonus if you find a kill with that MP9. So he's just made a bit more extra money. He's going to have a weapon for the next round, so it's not too bad. They've dented the finances of Na'Vi as well.
Sticker's going to pick up the weapon as well and lower, and Zen's been able to grab a Krieg. Let's see if all of them are going to stay alive. Actually, it's Crystal to go down, so that's the Kevlar. I think he just felt like he had an opportunity to do some damage there. And I guess in the swing of things, you trade an MP9 kill or an MP9 death for Stiko to be able to pick up a Krieg. You take those, even though you do lose a Kevlar in the process.
Sure.
So there's some damage down on the side of GODSENT, and there we see the scoreboard. Maiden, well, miles above anyone else on the server right now. Let's see how long that can continue. Up in play. Michaelilla not going to take the initial peek, just looking to see if there's anybody going for right side of mid early. Instead, it's going to be quick aggression towards mid here.
Michaelilla's ready for it at least. But they don't commit. They actually go back towards short. Picking up the pace over short. You can see them actually like starting to develop and work their way into this map. One more round to tie things up. 10-10. Not only would tie the scoreline up, but break the money of GODSENT as well. Michaelilla on the glass cannon orb. No, he hasn't had a bad game. He's doing some damage towards those double doors at the start, but he hasn't been crazy with the weapon. He hasn't been fighting anything insane, but
that's a big
just
one.
as we call him out, he takes down Simple and does get the opening frag. That's what he needed to do. These are the kind of plays. You're going to beat a team like Na'Vi. You do need to take some risk with that AWP and challenge the likes of Simple so he doesn't have free roam of the map. Great stuff for Michaelilla, especially with no armor as well. And this is a big round, 5-on-4. Time ticking away.
2 smokes left on Na'Vi's side as well. So if they want to set up for a B split here, they're not going to have... Well, it's unlikely that they're going to have any sort of smokes for that post-plant situation, because they're going to have to use some of them to actually get out into mid, most likely. But Michaelis decided to fall back from spawn, and that's one of the two smokes actually bungled from Perfecto. Crystal's in a really good spot as well. You just need Zen to take the initial brunt of the attention, and he's got a Krieg as well, so...
Big nade.
You love this if you're a CT player, like being in this position with the Krieg.
You know they're coming. Oh, you're doing so much damage, round's done. There's no way. There's surely no way. No one's checking this. He's absolutely whiffed that one, Alvor. I don't use that word lightly.
But you really feel like you need to be a lot more calmer in that scenario, right?
That was on a play almost. That was like, you've done all the right moves. You've played it so well. Your experience and your kind of years of Counter-Strike has got you to this point where you know this is the perfect play. And instead of like this, like even if you just guarantee one kill there, I don't mind too much. As long as you got the kill.
Yeah.
But like the fact it was a question mark about that one kill he got, and it was just definitely dead after that one. Like he definitely panicked. That was the moment. He knows it as well. That's like punch your desk moment.
That's the infamous garden hose.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the old whiskey throttle going on there, and unfortunately the Krieg might be the worst weapon to have in that scenario. I would say like in the wrong hands. It can
because it's so unfamiliar, right?
Yeah, if you're not a Krieg main, you still don't use it. I have no idea if he does. He didn't look confident in that. Like if I would have got 2 kills then with an AK. So I'm just like that really wasn't.
It should have been a lot. That should have been a GODSENT round. That's really what it comes down to.
Unfortunately, we would let most games like in the group stage would say, just move on from it. But when you're GODSENT, really trying to prove yourself, and that's like the biggest round of the game so far.
Yeah.
You had it in your control, and you're against the likes of Na'Vi with Simple. It's just not going to be something you're going to be able to get past. That's going to be at the back of your mind for a few rounds. They still have money that. Oh, what? Did he peek that?
No, he just tried to. He tried to go for the back peek.
Before he even got the scope, I was like, what just happened?
Well, the odds are going to be increasing, I guess, in the favor of Na'Vi now. GODSENT dropping the ball there.
Yeah, this is the round though. He's still got enough for the Orbs. Crystal with the MP9, and they've lost that initial player. Zen caught on the cross. They've left B open for now. A gamble does have to be taken. They've got 3 players towards middle, and they're going to try and actually take some control of the map here. Take some territory back. It's a prime real estate. But it seems like they're well too the trifecta of death from short, lower, long car. What can you even do about that? That's one of your main players gone now. Crystal removed.
Do you get slightly irked when you see that kind of position coming in from Electronic?
Yeah, with the Krieg as well. He isn't going to miss that, is he? It's just like a guaranteed shot.
It's like 50 seconds into the round. You're still hanging out behind the car outside along. But that's well played from Na'Vi, recognizing the situation at hand. They still have 2 players on the A bomb site, so there's still chances of putting up a fight here. But this needs to be more or less perfect on the side of GODSENT for it to work out.
Well, there's still a chance.
Yeah.
That was maybe it. Saying that though, Maiden has been unbelievable this game. And the way he's moving around right now, he actually might be able to do something about this. He is thwarted by Electronic, but unfortunately it's going to be Perfecto that really shuts the door here on GODSENT. As the backstab comes through, there was a chance at Maiden. You can just see like every situation, he knows like, I can do this to get out of it. Like he's got a contingency plan for almost every single scenario, and he can rely on his aim to get himself out of these tricky spots, but overwhelmed at that point. There's way too many players on his screen. Na'Vi will take the lead for the first time in a while. With 5 rounds in a row, potentially 6 here with the eco on the agenda for GODSENT, this could slip away from them. At least they've got double digits now. Yeah. This has been a good game for them. They can still win it, of course, but this is much more likely. This is a team that's showing us they have got some world-class players in their ranks, and they've got the fundamentals to go with it as well. Just maybe need a bit more experience to play with. And this is not that they're out of the tournament after this game.
Absolutely, more chances.
I'm liking the fact there's potential there. Like, it looks promising.
Yeah. Bit of a scary notion, though, to know that. Well, obviously they can't know, but we can. The fact that Simple does have an op and is still sitting on 7.3. So even if GODSENT are able to scrape a couple of rounds back here, it's going to be an uphill battle. Well, Xbox smoke goes down, but nobody from Na'Vi really interested in actually moving up towards Catwalk. It's going to be the long approach yet again. It's only Maiden with a deagle on the corner. Well, he's good for 1. Not going to find the second, but Stiko, meanwhile, has found Electronic. So pressure alleviated. They should be aware of the fact that Perfecto so far, this D side has been playing, this is the lurker, the one holding back rotations. And he does a perfect job of that as well.
Very calm.
Ooh,
maybe
all right.
not so much on that one, though. This could actually still fall apart a little bit here. Simple with the HE off the blue bin. I haven't seen that before. That should be the frag. Perfecto. He gives up the round potentially with that one. The USP pulled out, and Sticko gets his third. Simple left in the 2 versus 1.
19 HP, and Michael got a Krieg.
Damn. They actually gave it up. The round they were eco, the round it didn't look like they had much at all. The partial buy into the, with a scout of Sticko, a few Deagles, and they tied things up at 11-11. You said the money was still very strong for Na'Vi, but still, that round was a resounding success there for the GODSENT boys, and Sticko delivering most of the damage there as well. The USP kill in transition from A as well towards B. I don't know how he gets that. Perfected's got every advantage he could ask for at that point. He's been playing well as well, and I assume he only had usual Kevlar, but no helmet, so just one quick kill, one shot to the head would have done it, but couldn't find it. And we'll get ourselves to a position where we tie things up, and the money's going to be pretty good on the CT side as they invest with the AWPs. We've got the residual Krieg for Sticko, a couple of M4 here. Crystal working out whether he wants to go for a double AWP setup. I think he was an AWP back in the day.
Yeah, but I think there's this. Okay, there was a scout on the floor, so maybe he was thinking about
considering that. Yeah,
picking that up to hold on to some cash. But
at this point, you're not trying to save money. Like when he comes,
you're just getting rounds.
You just need rounds at this stage of the game. Yeah.
And they know as well, if they were to win this one, it's finally going to do some damage to Navi's economy as well. Buying up with these ops. It's being taken. Oof. The trade's not favoring GODSENT whatsoever.
He still wants to take these fights. Maiden knows, oh, the round's gone, but I can still save the day here. Look at this. Oof. Does manage to get at least one. It looked like the lineup of 2 was going to be available for Sticko. Another difficult scenario for him. 3 versus 1. Good shot on the first player. That's Perfecto removed again. CT spawn before, this time is short. And they're not exactly comfortable with this scenario. They're giving up kills once again. It's a 2 versus 1. It's winnable now. With the all challenging first, the HP doesn't matter.
12 HP on Simple.
I don't like that at all.
No,
Simple.
That's so risky.
Like if you lose that frag, he had the bomb as well, right? Like that was, the whole thing was done. But he hits it. We all forget about it. We all move on.
It's a success. In the history books,
like,
it's a success.
There was still 40 seconds. Like that could have fallen apart. Like, but still, it's all good. It's all good.
Yeah.
12-11, and they're gonna buy Sticko. Has he just
Hero up?
Hero up. Okay, we see this on some ecos. It's not like the idea is you can still win the round. They're just not expecting you to have the AWP necessarily, and actually works out. Michael takes him down.
Nicely flashed for Michael as well.
Yeah. So he flashed at himself. There's no flash assist. He threw the flash and got the shot. I assume.
Well, this does give them a fighting chance. They're also going to have an op posted up on the A-bomb side as well. So that's a solid way of, I guess, closing down one area pretty well.
Just to know, they give the AWP back to Sticko because I think he has armor. So Michael might be more well-versed in the mid-pick and have the better spawn.
Yeah.
And he goes for that, gets the AWP back to Sticko, have more sustainability with the Kevlar, can survive the grenade kits and doesn't get the aim punch effect. So this is looking promising. They might actually win a full eco round here with the hero AWP.
Yeah.
And the reason to buy the hero AWP, you can see their money's exactly the same. You've got one player with an anomaly within their ranks who has like 6k. He buys one AWP, the money will be the same.
Ooh, the pistols and again.
Flamies alone, they don't play these rounds very well. I'll say that much. They definitely have holes in these sort of rounds. And one by one they go, and it will lead to a certain demise here. It's going to be a full eco victory with the AWP thrown in there.
And they're going to pick up
not a single kill.
At the very least, for weapons.
Yeah,
I'm assuming
they've collected everything they have.
Yeah.
They've got 2 AWPs now, 1 Krieg, an AK, and they started with USPs and an AWP.
Well then.
That ties things up. I think it might shatter the money of Na'Vi as well, and potentially take us to a 3rd map here. That's insane. I don't like to talk. Well, you can look at the map right now. They've got 1 player in pit along, 2 walking in B, and a guy in middle. What is the setup there?
And the really questionable thing is, so you have the guy in pit, but is he like he's not gonna? You're not gonna catch rotations off of long,
and if it goes
right?
wrong, he can't help them out.
Yeah.
And the guy alone in the middle has the AWP. If he goes down, you've given away an AWP.
Yeah. So it has to be the guy on long being the guy putting on pressure, right?
Yeah. That was just wrong on so many different levels.
Gives GODSENT another chance though to get back into this. They've pretty much been given a free buy. A little bit surprised to see that nobody dropped for Zen, but
you're right there. Yeah, he was the only player that didn't get a weapon. But I guess he's like, you know what? Let's keep the morale high. The money's strong for everyone.
Yeah. Na'Vi.
They've ecoed it, haven't they?
Yeah.
So if they get an eco victory back, no problem, no harm, no foul. But that's going to be happening. Sticko, like I've always said, solid anchor. Always delivers when he has to. He gets himself 3 kills, denies the plant, gives him the lead once again, 13-12 here on Dust 2.
That's 2 flawless rounds in a row for GODSENT.
Yeah, that's a good point.
They're actually going to have money. And Na'Vi, again, pretty much putting all of her eggs into this one buy. I do get a little bit worried when I see Sticko re-peeking a fair few times here, but he does hit his shots, so it's all good. Does feel a little bit risky, and Simple not able to get the full connection onto Michaelella.
Who came out better there? Electronic down to 6, Michaelella down to 21, so I guess GODSENT technically.
Yeah.
And will be Zen close.
I like that as well because Michaelella's on an op, right? So you're not as worried about having low HP.
Yeah, that's true. You can just play more defensively, tuck yourself in at an angle.
This is something you don't see every day, Electronic on an op. Simple has given it away, and he gets a Galil in return.
You're right.
You don't well, I guess he's going to pick up the op again.
I feel GODSENT got this map, you know. I got things telling me that they've done
playing
enough.
Well.
The fact that they're not playing cagey Counter-Strike, like Michaeladi's just taking picks middle, like no problem. I don't think they were expecting that. I don't think Na'Vi saw that coming at all. They thought they could just run around the map, everyone would be just fearing them. They're actually stepping up. Then the way that Maiden's playing with Michaeladi with middle, like it's Sticko not missing a shot at the AWP as well, since a really solid secondary AWP. This is looking good. They've got a 5-on-4 lead, maybe 5-on-3 with this kill coming through, and Zen, he will dispatch of them towards middle. That's not bad at all, and they're looking clumsy on the Na'Vi side. 14-12, and money's going to be broken once again.
So many of these instances where Na'Vi attempt to take control of the map, but it seems like it's just a tiny part of the team that's actually committed to doing just that. So when it doesn't pan out, you have 2 to 3 players just left stranded on their own little island, very separated, not being able to pounce off of it or do anything significant with it. Maybe if you try to take the mid control and you see like, oh wow, there's 3 players from GODSENT here. We can now, we know that Catwalk's weakened or we know that Long is weakened. You can't necessarily do anything about it because it's only boomage towards Long and Perfecto's stuck in Upper Dark. So you don't really build any sort of momentum towards any part of the map for Na'Vi.
Yeah, Na'Vi, for me, still looking like they've got so many holes in their general game plan.
Yeah.
Like, you can't poke any holes in their players or general fundamentals of the game. It's just like, when the chips are down, they really need a round that's stacked in their favor, that they'll take too many risks or players will work too individually. Yeah. And that's something GODSENT don't do. They're very good at just playing together and exploiting mistakes that are made. So that's the one team you really don't want to be playing loose Counter-Strike against. And Na'Vi are giving a little bit too much away here. They'll take a tactical timeout at death's door. 14-12 down. They've got around $2,000 per player after a little bit of expenditure with Deagles and PT50s. I don't think they'll expend any, but they have to let this one essentially go to 15 and try and get 3 in a row, which sounds daunting, certainly possible. There's still a chance they can win this round, of course, but it doesn't look good.
Oh, you need to be careful, Crystal. Managed to snag Simple and has backup for Maiden as well. Goes back for more. And the brunt of the push has been pushed back, dealt with. Yet again, GODSENT get to 15. But at least I'm happy to see that Na'Vi do, in fact, not attempt just a ridiculous force buy in hopes of being able to deny GODSENT from getting to 15, especially given how strong their economy is at this stage. GODSENT guys looking pretty cool, calm, and collected. Devil Walk not shouting any orders or anything like that.
Yeah, I guess that's a good point. He looks relatively calm. Everyone's happy.
Everyone's doing what they've been told, apparently.
Yeah. Well then, 3 rounds in a row required on the Na'Vi side. I can't believe I said that. This is 5 rounds out of the last 6 for GODSENT. And they're not slowing down here. Maiden's had absolute enough of this. He's pushing all over the map. He's finding the headshots. He's got the AK-47 now. Allows him to keep up. And Sticko is doing more than that. 16-12 looks guaranteed at this stage. We are going to see a 5 versus 3 ensue. Sticko maybe oversteps the mark at that point. Flame will take him down, so a chance to catch their breath. Not all lost at this point. We've got 1 player towards the B side of the map. That's going to be Boomich, the in-game leader, trying to suss out the situation, work out what they can do next. They have 1 smoke, an HE grenade, and no real presence on the map. Sure, they have long control, but how do you even get to the site with 1 smoke?
Yeah, that's a very good question. I'm not sure if Na'Vi has the answer for it. But I like the fact, again, it's GODSENT understanding what Na'Vi are doing. Perfecto has been, for the better part of this T side, been isolated towards upper tunnels because it's so rare to see CT side aggression there. Maiden takes it into his own hands, goes aggressive, and pretty much removes any sort of map control Na'Vi has towards the B area of the map. Aggression once again, good flash for Michaelella to net at least 1 kill on the side of Crystal. That leaves Electronic all alone, and it's not going to work out. Eden caps off an excellent performance on his end to get GODSENT to 16 and actually take us to a third map. Somewhat, well, I'd say very unexpected, honestly.
I don't think anyone saw that coming, to be honest with you, Halvor, there. The fact after losing 16-6 on their first map pick, they somehow get back into on Dust 2, the highest fragging affair we have. Like, it's the map is all about spawns, hitting the head, getting the sniper shots in. Didn't seem like any of that was working for GODSENT in the first map, but it certainly did on Dust 2. They looked like a great, well-rounded team, and Na'Vi were making mistakes. They were actually winning a few rounds by virtue of a bit of luck as well. They had some disastrous moments on the GODSENT side. The MP9s, the 3-man spray down from long. So it's not like Na'Vi were gifted loads of rounds away. They actually did a really good job on the GODSENT side to fight back into it and take us to a third map. Which was Train, I believe, right?
Yeah, and I mean, again, you kind of have to favor Na'Vi. Again, just on paper, what we know, it's still very early on in the year, so we don't have too much info to go off of the two teams going into this.
It doesn't bode well. If that's their Dust 2, like I wasn't that impressed with Na'Vi's Dust 2 at all. That was your cookie cutter, default, basic execution. Try and work on the picks you get. But GODSENT much more well-rounded than that. They had a whole game plan going into that one, and that wasn't even their pick. Yeah,
and that's one of the things that Na'Vi have been struggling on, right? Like being able to make adjustments when things start going poorly. If GODSENT are going to come out as well-rounded as they've seen, even though Nuke didn't go to their plan, right? Their CT side did look pretty well thought through. So I kind of would have expected that to be the case going into Train as well, and that gives them a decent opportunity.
Well, we haven't heard from him in some years, but we have got Michael Early down on the show floor now with an interview. Let's see what he's got to say.